clearly a touchdown favorite. What do Cowboys do against teams that they should beat? They usually beat them. But are they going to cover the touchdown spread? I'm not really all that interested in that. Here's what I am interested in this matchup. It's Cooper Kupp. So last game, he gave you nothing. It was 2 catches for 29 yards. I'm not expecting a repeat performance of that. And if you look at the matchup last year, Kupp had 125 yards, got into the end zone on 7 grabs, and that's when Trayvon Diggs was healthy. And now, of course, we know that Diggs is not out there. The coaching mismatch is alarming for anybody making a strong case for the Cowboys. It is. I mean, McVay against McCarthy, I don't care how long McCarthy has to prepare. That guy had like a full year to prepare, and he was terrible coming back as a head coach last year in a lot of these spots. So I don't want anything to do with the side. I'm just looking at I think Kupp's going to go over his 84.5. That's what I'm expecting in this one.
Yeah, if the Rams are going to hang around and cover this number or even outright win, Puka and Kupp are going to have to go off. Pains me to say this, but the Cowboys have more talent, better defense. I think they're going to get after Stafford. And as Joe said, they're really good at home and they win games they should win. This does feel like a Cowboys spot again, doesn't it? I just don't know how the Rams, I don't think they have the talent here. Something spectacular would have to happen. And I do.
Okay.
I think they can. Like a 31-17 type of vibe. I mean, the Rams defense looked bad last week against the Steelers too.
Yeah, it certainly did, where you have too many receivers, too many options, and then the Rams passing defense doesn't know how to cover all of them, and so a quarterback can pick it apart. And if Aaron Donald's not getting home, then certainly that's going to leave something to be desired as far as the Rams pass rush is concerned. I don't have a play on the side, but I do like the under here, in large part because the one way you can beat this Cowboys defense is with play action. Linebackers will bite when it comes to trying to stop the run, and then you have some time to throw an intermediate to deep ball. That's something that you can do against them. The problem is the pass rush with Micah Parsons and company is just so good that it doesn't matter if you have the time or to run play action, because some pass rusher is going to get in your grill to where you just don't have the time to develop the play, right? Pretend to hand it off, pull it back, and then find someone. Like, you just don't have that time against this Cowboys pass rush. And the thing with this Rams passing attack this year is that the line is simply not good enough to withstand the blitz. You bring in a 5th or 6th pass rusher, which is something that the Cowboys really haven't needed to do, but I expect they're going to do it a good bit more because the Rams have struggled against the blitz over the last couple of weeks. So I'm expecting a not so good performance by Matthew Stafford. Not to mention, when you look at this Cowboys passing attack, it's still leaving something to be desired. It's just too simplistic. They're run, pass for the most part. And even those passing attempts are such to where it's about Dak Prescott throwing interceptions. And you can't concentrate on that too much. You got to risk it a little bit. And Mike McCarthy just doesn't want to do that for whatever reason. So the Cowboys' simplicity, the fact that defense will be blitzing a little bit more and affecting Matthew Stafford to where I think the receiving props are great unders. So I'm going against you, Joe, as far as that's concerned. But to me, this is going to be a lower scoring, quasi-ugly game. It is officially official. Brian Daboll says that Daniel Jones is out for Sunday's contest between the Giants and the Jets. The line is staying put at Jets -3, Joe. Does that mean you want to back the Giants with the backup?
I mentioned earlier in the show that if it's Tyrod, I'm going to be backing the Giants. I feel like we're having the same conversation we had a week ago. It's not a good idea to force Daniel Jones out there behind this offensive line. And that's going to be big again. What is the state of this offensive line? How many injuries are we going to have on the Giants side? Historically, Salah's not been great off the bye. Now he's had worse talent, but I think that's also worth noting that when he has extra time to prepare, there's not been some sort of advantage. Last time we saw the Jets, they were pulling off that upset against the Eagles. Again, they should not have won. That was a turnover game. It was 4-0, and they won that game without their 2 best corners. So from that standpoint, it was impressive. The Jets have had a lot of red zone issues lately. So I'd assume that that's what they went to work on in their time off. Like, we've got to get this figured out. The Giants don't do a whole lot well, but this is a winnable game. Point spread of only 3. If Tyrod is in, if the Giants have a couple guys returning on the offensive line, then I would be willing to back them +3.
Yep. I like the Giants too as dogs here. I could see maybe the Jets winning by 1 point or something like that, but I think the Giants can cover, if not win outright. And I think this Giants team is playing better with Tyrod. The Jets have been playing well, but it's largely in part due to their defense. I don't know how long that can continue, so I'll be on the Giants side here.
Fine, I'll be backing the Giants. My model has this as Jets -2. Fine, you win, Joe. You get this one. All right.
Let's go.
Giants defense is actually better than you might think. 4th highest success rate against play action. Passer rating allowed on short passes of 0.9 air yards is 8th lowest. Rushing defense is okay outside the tackles. So the Giants can cover this. And Zach Wilson passing and rushing 212.5. I like the under here. I'm expecting Wilson to make a couple of bad decisions and not be able to consistently move the ball down the field, whether it's sacks or taking off and then getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. I am not expecting Zach Wilson to do very much in a game like this.
We rarely get value on the quarterbacks. Some just kill me if this happens. What if it's Bajent? 30-1.
Oh God.
He's got a great matchup.
Clip it.
I would never bet this. I would never bet this. I said you probably want to take
Bye,
the
Paul.
Chargers since the Bears are so popular. But if it's Bajent, I'm probably going to quit. I'm not going to be.
Play the buzzer.
Yeah, buzz.
The
horn.
Yeah, the
Bajent
buzzer
stuff
in more
makes
ways than one.
And it's Sunday night.
There we go.
Oh my God, that would be too much.
Oh God.
EPA allowed per
Chicago
drop back.
lose their
Chargers number 31. He's got DJ Moore. But no, I mean, if they start, you saw him play from ahead, let's see him play from behind. If there's like a prop on 3+ interceptions, I might take a look. AJ Brown, he's averaging 140 yards over the last 5 games. He's averaging 140 yards per game. Okay. When they're going against man coverage, AJ Brown gets 50% of the target share. Washington runs the second most man in the league. So it looks like it should be an AJ Brown game. His number's 87.5. But Aaron, the more and more I think about it, I can see Washington keeping this one close. The number's 7 now? At 7, I think that's buy time for Washington.
It's what they do. It's like every other week you need to back Washington, especially at this number as underdogs in a division matchup that, as you mentioned, was a very close game earlier this season that, oh, by the way, went to overtime. You've got a banged up Jalen Hurts. Everything is bad here in Washington. I mean, people are ready to just turn the page on this whole regime. But they play the Eagles well. That's what they do. They've done that historically. So in this division matchup, I think backing the Commanders on the spread is a good look here.
I think it's time for Washington to get new ownership. I think what's happening right now is oh wait, they just got new ownership.
Didn't change everything?
That might be the only thing
Yeah.
people like here is the new ownership. Everything
right.
else got to go.
Hope springs eternal, I guess, but you still have a long way to go, especially in that division when Philadelphia is going nuts. And look, the Cowboys, they're not a bad team, so you have that going for you. I actually like the Eagles to cover the big number here, and it is a dangerous proposition given that offense across the league hasn't been very good. And so when you have big numbers, it is a concern here. But I still think the Eagles can do it and make that last meeting between the two teams irrelevant, because the Philly defense, I think, is the best of both worlds in that they can play 2 deep safeties, but still affect the quarterback with that front. In such situations, the Eagles generate pressure at a 41.4% clip. That's the 4th highest in football. And the Sam Howell sack thing is well documented. We have the documents to prove it. It is well documented. The problem is, though, if Sam Howell isn't on his tush, then he can't throw beyond 10 air yards against this Philly defense. They are 9th best in terms of defensive success rate there. Then on the other side of the football, do you really feel like that this Commanders secondary can cover A.J. Brown? No, you can't.
No.
A.J. Brown over 89.5 receiving yards. Done.